There you go.
And,
That's all you.
so, Tony Testa is not able to be here tonight, and, Chris Ryan, his term expired end of the year. And, he accepted an appointment to the Historic Commission. So he will not be here tonight.
Yeah, you can see.
Marty, now go
Or
for it.
that's going forward, but that is a spot that has been vacant for quite a while. We've had trouble filling, so. We need to lose him here, but happy to have him there.
And it do.
I'd like to call the planning commission meeting for January 6th to order. It is currently 5:26. First item on the agenda is floodplain development permit for Keith Van Gorder. Wants to put in an in-ground swimming pool. Is Keith there?
He is not. I'll speak on behalf of Mr. Van Gorder. So they've got an above ground pool now. They're just taking that out, putting an in-ground pool in.
Yeah.
Any new fencing will be floodplain compliant, and he's agreed to follow the FEMA guidelines for installation of new electrical and a pool in a floodplain.
Any questions from the planning commission? I just worried about the fence. That was the only thing I didn't see on the diagram when I was going.
He's got existing fence now, but she's not required to change.
Oh, okay, all right.
But I think, and I've made mention to him that if he does make any changes, it's gotta be that offset panel or I call it offset panel, there's another name for, or it's gotta be raised up a foot.
Okay.
Either one.
All right, further, any other discussion?
No concerns about the coverage on the lot.
They've already got area variances.
All that's in place.
Yep. So if anything you needed for in terms of the variances for lot non-conformities have been approved.
All right, somebody want to make a motion to approve the floodplain development permit variance for the in-ground pool?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Mike, okay. Second, Jim. All right, further discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, motion carried. Second item on the agenda is site plan review for, let's see. which way I marked this one. Oh, this was the sign on the corner of River Street and Port Watson Street. Is Donald Senior?
Is not, I'll speak on behalf of Mr. Sen.
Okay. The only thing I saw with this is the sign was a little bigger than what is normally allowed.
Yeah, so he got an area variance for the,
I mean, the sign looks like
Signage.
a nice sign.
Yeah,
There's
so-
nothing wrong with the sign, just a little large.
no, an area variance was granted for what you're talking about, for the maximum square footage of sign exceeds the linear square footage of
Of the
wall,
property,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it looks like a nice sign.
Right, it looks like a prefab, like it's
Yeah, Napa.
branded for Napa.
Yeah, so that's something's he has to order from Napa.
There's
And
not a smaller option.
no,
But it looks like a regular residence next door to him, right? There's a house in between that business.
it's not
It's a weird
zoned.
area,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
another business behind his place, and I can't remember what's to the right down Fort Watson.
That's it's that house there's a house sign that it collects bottles, but I never see anything being.
Oh, recycling.
Yeah, so the garage at that house is a recycling center.
Okay.
Just, I got a head start on you guys. So I knew you guys would ask for it, so I had the ZBA do it as well, on and off switches on the signs like you guys usually want, so. He's aware that he needs on and off switches on both those signs.
Okay.
Anybody else, any questions?
It was just how the light shed was gonna affect, if that is a residence next door, but if it's, well, that was the only concern I had.
Right,
Across the street. I mean, Bird Dairy is already,
they're on the, yeah.
no, the other side of Fort Watson.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The other side, right, I mean, you've already got Burn Dairy dumping more light. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say, so it was just already lit up, but there's more than one on River Street for me, that residence, if that's not.
Yeah, there's one more on the east side, but I don't know if they'll be affected by the sign really.
It's a business.
No, but then the house, the house.
Well, Burn Dairy should be 0 candle feet at the edge of the property.
Yeah.
That's new and that's what we approved. So. The store should be lit up, but nothing else should be.
Yeah,
Right.
Apparently, the DOT didn't have any issues with it either, because the county just did a return. letter.
Okay.
I was okay with it.
All right, any other comments, questions, concerns about the sign?
just the light shed on the neighbor, and if they aren't bothering that, then I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, somebody want to make a motion then?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Jim, to approve the site plan review for the sign. Can I get a second on that?
I'll say.
Ms. Bethel? All right, any further discussion? All right, all those to approve the site plan review for the signs on Fort Watson Street, say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, motion carried. All right, our third item on the agenda is the special use permit for the Christopher Community House on 172, 174, 178 Homer Avenue. We've talked about this before. Is anyone here to discuss that? Sure. Good thing you're here, Roy.
Yeah.
We'd be lost without you.
So there is no change. You guys heard this about
Yeah.
4 or 5 times. This needs a special use permit because there's 2 multiple dwellings in the same property, and our code requires a special use permit to have 2 multiples.
They need to come back, just for that, we all.
Yeah, I should have got, so
Yeah.
actually, the stack of papers for this project is like this.
Like you, yeah.
And I was going through that stack the other day to start to scan some stuff in because we just got some other approvals for them. And I found this in the stack and I went to Andy and we both said, oh, that didn't get done, we gotta get it done.
So, Joe, we've got 2 special use permits, on the agenda here. I'll pass down this, these questions if you want to go through again. So, I'm gonna pass, what I just passed down is from the city administrative code. The first part is just about procedure, but the second part, section 300, 162, general findings.
The end of the first page.
Yeah, you'll
Yes,
see there, it outlines, before granting a special use permit, planning commission shall make the following general findings. So it may be helpful to just walk through those questions, give people an opportunity to discuss them.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, let's go through them one at a time. If you guys have a question or comment or concern, just jump right in, okay? Question or item number 1 says the lot area is sufficient, appropriate, and adequate for the use.
Definitely.
Okay, that's, I thought was good. Second one is the proposed use will not prevent rather the orderly and reasonable use of adjacent properties.
I'm sorry to interrupt. What's coming down here is this is out of state general city law that sets up in general terms the authority for special use permits. And I've highlighted there, I guess what's applicable to your review of these items.
Yeah, so basically, I think I read this earlier, it's giving us the authority to establish reasonable conditions for these special use permits to go into effect. We have the power to do that. All right, so we've checked off number 1. I think we're in agreement, but let's just go through number 2 again. The proposed use will not prevent the orderly and reasonable use of adjacent properties. So that's what's going on right now. Do you guys see any problems with that?
No.
Okay. Number 3, the site is particularly suitable for the location of proposed use in the community.
Yeah.
Okay. And 4, the access facilities are adequate for the estimated traffic from public streets or highways to ensure the public safety and to avoid traffic congestion and further the vehicle. I got that. Oh, it's on the other side. I didn't realize it was 2 sides. Sorry. Further, the vehicular entrances and exits shall be clearly visible from the street and not be within 125 feet of the intersection of street lines at a street or highway intersection except under unusual circumstances.
We discussed that, I
I
think.
think we talked about that, yeah, the last time, I just want to make sure we're covering it. All right, number 5, there are an adequate number of off-street parking spaces provided for the anticipated use. And the layout of the spaces and driveways is convenient and conducive to safe operation.
Yeah, we agree with the reduced amount.
Was okay. 5, there are an adequate number of off-street parking spaces provided for the anticipated use. And the layout of the spaces and driveways is convenient and conducive to safe operations. We're talking about off-street parking. I don't think that's really gonna apply here, personally. Yes, see that different.
Well, off-street is like providing a parking spot in the driveway, right? So
Or I was thinking of, yeah, that's true.
that's what it's called.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's good, again.
We covered that.
Yeah, plans, we saw that.
Yeah,
More than adequate.
absolutely, yeah.
All right. Number 6, there's adequate buffering, landscaping and screening provided in accordance with Article 9 of this chapter to protect adjacent residential and non-residential properties and land uses.
There is, but there's a 10-foot buffer that's not there that they're granted in the area.
Correct.
So we covered that.
We discussed it between that and the other property that they own.
Yeah.
So,
And then finally, number 7, the proposed use will comply with all the regulations applicable to such use as listed in 300-163, which is listed there.
Yeah, there's nothing below in that
Really?
163 that's applicable
I'm looking at it now.
either of the items on the agenda.
Okay, so I think we're good on that. All right, where do you guys want to go on this one? They're looking for special use permit.
I'd say we're good.
Okay, so Brendan, you want to make a motion?
Sure.
All right, can I get a second on that?
I'll say.
Mike, any further discussion? Yeah, all those in favor of site plan review, special use permit for the Christopher Hart, say aye.
If I may,
Yes, I'm sorry.
special use permit for more than one multiple dwelling on the same parcel.
Right, Andy, can you include that in the motion? All right, all those in favor? Aye, anyone opposed? All right, motion carried.
Who made the second?
Mike, did you? Yeah, Mike did. All right, our 4th item on the agenda is site plan review for a lean-to type structure. The location would be 41 Elm Street / 14 Vanette Street. Is Brian here, Brian Malcheck?
Brian is not, Franz is here. That's a minor review. He's went already for
Okay.
a whole bunch of other stuff. He's got all the area variances he could possibly ever need.
So is there any motion we need to make on this or?
You do, you just gotta sign it. I think in the future, this was like the last time how did we set that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's my mistake. I listed it as site plan review. I should have listed it as minor review, which is just administrative
So
signature.
I'll sign that after the meeting. Okay. All right, we'll skip down to agenda item number 5, special use permit. The applicant seeks a special use permit for the purpose of operating a retail store within a professional office district. This was something we tabled from last month, and we asked them to bring in a list of items that they would be selling. Are they here?
And more plans.
Are you going to come up and tell us about what you want to sell? Please.
Watch course.
Yeah, don't trip on the cord.
Yeah, so, stop it.
If you'd be good enough to sign your name there, that'd be helpful.
So,
Yeah, whenever you're ready, sure.
yes, so like I want to sell there, convenience, like grocery, candy bars, those things, the product.
It like a sound coming.
I'm sorry. So we, I can roll my viewers, right?
Yeah,
So we need some like convenience product, like, grocery stuff and drinks candy bars. And with those, we want to do a dolly too. And then tobacco products, like cigarette, cigars. That's it. And I really, yesterday, take some stuff out. That was always different. So we take like a lot of stuff out and we put only the tobacco and Gideon's products.
Right.
Issue we had last time, wasn't it the head jump stuff?
Right, paraphernalia.
But I believe there's an issue with selling tobacco products.
That's what I was,
Yeah.
that's the next.
Do you have don't you need like a permit from the state to sell those?
Yes, we work on it right now and we really hired a lawyer from here from Portland to get a permit for it. So we need a license for it and a permit. So we work on it.
I mean, right, it's proximity, certainly again, sale again, I don't know if it's convenience sale, but it was proximity to the school and whatever else, you know, I didn't go read it, it didn't break in there.
Right.
I just wanna,
Yeah.
that was the
A lot of
concern,
concerns, yeah.
the school and the park, but.
The location is against our local tobacco law.
Tobacco law.
Right. Do you know what the distance is?
You better cross you Sucker Park.
I know, but.
I know off the top of my head, I
In the
can go,
law, do you know what
I
the
can
law
go
states?
grab the law if you want to. I have it on my desk. It
You
hasn't
don't
been
know.
printed anywhere yet, but the Common Council did. When did they vote that in?
Yeah, so that was adopted early in 2024. Next to
And with that, he would need a local tobacco license as well. As well as the state license. And I believe we're maxed out at this point on what we're allowed to have anyway.
yeah, so the licensing, the city's licensing program process is yet to be put into effect. So at the moment, there's not a process for obtaining the license. But with regard to where sales are allowed and prohibited. So the first condition is that you have to obtain your New York State license. In terms of the distance. You can't be within 1,000 feet of an existing licensed or another licensed facility. You cannot be within 1,000 feet of a youth-oriented facility as defined here, which park,
Second part.
yeah,
School.
any school, library, playground that's open to the public, youth center, recreation facility open to the public, so childcare, others,
You got the date.
Here we go.
The hospital, yeah.
Here we go.
Was the is the Quick Fill Mart that I believe sells tobacco products
Yeah.
within 1,000 feet as well?
Grandfather.
They might have been
Grandfathered in, but I'm saying they're not gonna be able to get a license.
because you're
Because they're
so
within
close to
1,000 feet
the.
of that other, so there's multiple reasons that the state's not gonna grant this license. So I don't see why we would approve it and overrule the county to allow this use.
Is it the type of thing where you'd have to sell tobacco products in order to start your business? I guess that's my question, that comes to my mind. But you know, if it didn't get approved for tobacco products, would you still be interested in opening your business? That's my question. I see, I mean, I don't know, you know. I don't think it'd be a big part of your sales or what.
Probably now I can't tell you yes or no, because I got partners, so. But for me, like, personal, it's okay for me, but I don't know, so.
But I mean, I don't smoke either, so I mean, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
One way or the other, but if it's so close to all these, you know, kid-related things, I mean, I don't know how we can approve it, you know? And I don't think we can kick the can down the road any further, I think it's just, we've got to make a decision tonight.
So, you think if they move all the tobacco stuff? Then we need cutting it quickly.
The
If you give me a
tobacco
chance.
is the problem.
Yes,
The
so
problem.
if I move it. I'm good. To open, like no tobacco,
I mean,
just convenient, once
So are there any other issues?
if you're opening a convenience mart,
Yeah, there's other things.
there's parking, you know, there's a lot of, if it was allowed to open, there would be
yes,
multiple other steps that would need to happen.
yes. That's why I really hired a lawyer to check what they have to do,
Okay.
but every,
Like, I'm thinking of that lot, and there's, maybe as the landowner, is there 3 spots on that lot? Not even?
I think there's a
I
house or
don't
garage.
I don't think there's any.
There's no, you're right,
It's like
yeah, they
right-
belong to
right
the
on
house,
yeah.
so,
Then the question is, what can I open there, you know, I mean, a professional building also needs spots. So I mean, just look at Charles, what can I
sure, but a
open
use
there?
that's in compliance
Yeah,
is something that we would be much more likely to recommend a variance for than
Yeah.
something that's totally out of the scope of what's zoned for that area.
right, the tobacco, absolutely, yeah.
Just a convenience store in general with parking requirements is already up. I mean, I don't care what you're selling, you're up against that, where people are gonna park to go get your.
Yeah, 'cause you
Service.
can't really park on the street there, I mean, it's. I
You
don't
can't,
think
there's
parking
no,
at home
there's
for
no,
that.
there's no parking at all on Homer Avenue.
I'm actually surprised that on top of the other issues, wasn't brought up in the county.
County planning?
Recommendation for denying this, or the county's denial. Because, yeah, I mean, the bill, I just don't see how it's suitable for this use.
How do you guys want to pursue? I mean. Like I said, we can't kick the can down any further, it's gotta we have to make a decision tonight, I guess they could come back with a new application with all the things that they need for a convenience store. I guess that's the only option they have now.
After talking to his lawyer.
Right, I mean, yeah, you can still talk to
How
them.
many spaces would they need?
I don't know what the regulations are.
More than 0.
Yeah, it'd be based on the square footage.
Okay, more, I would guess more than 1.
Yeah, there might be 2 right now.
I think the numbers were shared in the other proposal for the special permit with the other lot across the Christopher properties.
Yeah,
Right?
So regardless, right, it need a special use. Permit,
They would need one.
retail store would need a special use permit, so you'd have to go down your list of questions, whether it was a convenience store or.
Right. Well, we can go down through the list.
They really need to do that list or not?
Yeah, I don't think. we
Nobody
do
hears
that.
somebody feels strongly that they
Yeah.
can make a case
Right,
that they're affirmative
I
and.
mean, he said right out of the gate, he said he wanted to sell tobacco, so right there, it's off the,
right.
it's rejected there, if he comes back with a new list that really shows, I mean. And again, it's coming back with an official list, it's not just coming here and sharing you need to write something up, have your.
Yeah, I
lawyer
thought
write
they were.
something up.
Okay,
Until-
let's do it then.
It sounds like a tough road to hoe regardless, to be a convenience store in that location.
So I think the commission should go through those questions.
Those
So,
lists, yeah, okay.
formally.
All right, let's just cover.
You know, the acquisition or the ability or the inability to acquire licenses.
Right,
It's not strictly speaking part of the purview here, but
right.
if you go into that state law section,
300 dash one
you know,
sixty-two. Oh, the other one?
yeah. She'll have
It's
the authority to impose such reasonable conditions and restrictions as are directly related to and incidental to the proposed special use permit. So, given the proximity to playground and school, apart from this city's future implementation of the tobacco licensing, would say that the commission has the ability to consider whether restricting or allowing the sale of things like tobacco is something that you want to allow as part of this.
Yeah, I was expecting to see a complete list, I mean, that's what we asked for last time, was a complete list of what was gonna be sold, and I don't, there's nothing in writing, so. I personally cannot support it, I mean, that's where I stand.
Well, even if they take the tobacco out, the parking makes sense.
Yeah, then there's other issues they're gonna have to deal with then. All right, somebody wanna make a motion then? Yes.
Yeah,
Go through the questions. So I think
Which questions are this?
it's saying these general findings.
I didn't think we were doing, okay, all right, we will. All right, before granting special use permit, planning commission should make the following general findings. The lot area is sufficient, appropriate, and adequate for the use.
No, it's,
No,
There's several things that, the parking is just one of those things. Okay, so I would say that's a no. Number two, the proposed use will not prevent the orderly and reasonable use of adjacent properties.
I don't think it would. Yeah, I don't-
Probably not impacted,
Yeah,
so it's probably not. Number three, the site is particularly suitable for the location of proposed use in the community.
No.
That's one you could argue, Because of the, proximity to parks and schools.
And there's just no place at all for a car to pull up. Car
Right.
stops in front of it. It's 2 lanes of
You'd
home.
still be blocking some traffic. All right, number four, the access facilities are adequate for the estimated traffic from public streets or highways. So as to ensure the public safety and to avoid traffic congestion further that vehicular entrance and exit shall be clearly visible from the street and not be within 125 feet of the intersection of street lines at a street or highway intersection except under unusual circumstances.
There's no entrance or.
It's not,
and you're within 125 feet.
right, that's a no.
Of,
Number five, there are an adequate number of off-street parking spaces, that we just, no, that's a no. Let me just finish that, so we've done it, provided for the anticipated use and the layout of the spaces and driveways, is convenient and conducive to safe operation. Number six, there's adequate buffering, landscaping, and screening provided in accordance with Article 9 of this chapter to protect adjacent residential and non-residential properties and land uses. So I think the big thing is the parking, adequate parking for what they want to do.
Yeah, well, and
Set aside the,
number 6 is
tobacco.
there's no buffering, no landscaping
right,
between that and the adjacent properties, so. Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to deny this special use permit.
all right, so we got a motion to deny, and we get a second. 1 second. All right, any further discussion?
does anybody in the audience want to talk about?
Does anybody in the audience want to say anything before we vote?
Are you gonna speak for it or against it?
Against.
All right. All those for denying this special use permit, say aye. Aye. Anyone want to approve it? All right, motion is denied. All right. Sorry about that, but you just can't go along with it.
I have something for you to guide here.
Let's go through the minutes for the last month, and I'll sign all that stuff.
Let me just have him sign.
I'll be locked in.
He's walking out the door.
All right, the last thing on our agenda is to approve the minutes from December's meeting. I'm gonna just click on.
What about your other place there?
Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes from December? Anybody see any corrections or additions? All right, can I get a motion to approve the minutes then? I'll move. Chris, second.
Second,
Jim, yeah, further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, motion carried. All right, there's also in there, there's a list of when our next meetings are. Do you guys see that? The 2025 meeting schedule? Now I just put those in your,
we ought to reschedule the September 1st, 2025 meeting. Because it's Labor Day, yeah.
Did I miss that? Did I,
is that ours or is that
There is.
CBA? Is that Labor Day, September 1st
Yeah.
this year? Okay. We may have to tweak that a little bit, Andy.
All right, let me
We got 9 months to work on that.
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
You know, it will be July 3rd.
Why, I just have a question. November 24th to start. I have no idea. It looks like an okay day to me. Is there something wrong with November 24th? Remember, see at the bottom there, bottom, why is that like all red? Yeah.
Oh, that's not us.
Oh, I know. but-
Oh,
The application?
no, so red just indicates a variance from the
Typical
regular
meeting.
schedule.
Gotcha,
you know.
okay, all right.
We'll so,
You want us to change that meeting date now to maybe the 8th?
Yeah.
September 8th, would that make sense? Like that's.
September 1 is Labor Day?
That's what
Every year,
it says.
the first Monday of September.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
That's actually on.
Should, do we have the authority to do that, or is that just like a, you know, who does that?
Joe, next Labor Day, no, I don't.
You can decide, you decide when you want to, you know, if you want to
Is the
meet
8th
that day, if you want to meet a week later.
I'd like to keep it on the Mondays just because there's
That's, yeah,
other,
that's my.
you know,
Yeah.
things.
Is anybody opposed to the 8th, like the following Monday? Anybody there?
I'm good with it.
All right, so let's make a motion now to change the September 1 meeting to September 8th. All right,
I would,
yeah,
I would make that motion.
all right, Brendan, second,
Sure.
Mike, second, further discussion. All right, so all those in favor of changing our September meeting from the 1st to the 8th, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so we got that change.
Uh,
Any other dates on there need to be adjusted? Do we have to approve the whole?
No.
And just we'll just make that.
Uh,
Okay,
Okay, I've made that change and I will, I still have to confirm the location for the historic meetings and then I will resend this out to everybody.
all right, super.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, all those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Oh, we're already
All
gone.
right, so we're already going around, we got one for